So the reason why I think I've discussed this before, but it's worth discussing it while we're on this, while we're just obviously flicking on it, is I decided that this was one leg. I mean, months ago now, so it was July, May to July it was created, and since then, obviously, I've been trying to wait for a pullback to sort of catch the buy. But basically, I decided this was one 15-minute leg based on the fact that so what I do say most weeks, and this is a good example, is obviously 1 minute wise, we have a pullback here. So this whole leg's pullback, but we get a down bearish price action pullback on a lower time frame, get a low put in, and then we start making bearish structures, something along this sort of like lines here. So that gets taken above here, but then we can see there's a bigger pullback here. So that means that's the high, that's the low, that's the high, and then obviously we get a break here. So because we've got a break here, hello, darling. Sorry, my daughter's just come in the room. Hey, baby. Hang on one sec. Lisa. Yep, she's about to get on camera. Say hello. You gonna wave? Wave. Good girl.
Come here, quick.
Go on, go to your mum.
I'm like cleaning the cupboard. Quick, no, come here. My hands are
She's
filthy.
under it now.
Come here, come on. Stand up, good girl. Sorry, darling. I'm here for you.
Sorry about that, peoples. Um, yeah, so obviously we had the bullish structured all the way on this leg here, and then obviously, like I say, we get a high made, we get a pullback, the final pullback before the final high on the lower time frames put in, and then as you see here, we get a lower time frame breaker structure. I'm going to call it one on this example. That's probably what I'd call it anyway, because orange is what I think is 15. Obviously, it doesn't matter what time frame you call it, as long as you know the structures are about what they need to be. Obviously the bigger the time frame, the longer you'll be waiting. So that's why I like 15 and one. One's me confirmation of possible order to put trade on, and you want to sort of be in the direction of the one above it. So the yeah, so that's right. So orange for direction, green for confirmation, basically. So obviously after it does the breaker structure down here, I'm assuming there'll be a couple of imbalances in here, and this is what's causing these pullbacks here. But I do think obviously we're still 15-minute bullish at the minute, so I am anticipating higher prices. Now, that is obviously pure speculation. It's not a guarantee because if we from here we could mitigate something in here. Obviously, if we do, like if there's something in here that gets filled and then we get a 1 minute break to the downside. So currently, like these are big swings as well. Um, we currently, I would say, because this low here is the lowest out of these sort of wicks. So I'm sorry, I'll continue this structure along just so you can read it, see it a bit better. So we have a few swings to the downside from this leg here, this 15-minute leg here. Make a low. No, that's wrong. That is wrong. So, sorry, let me just redo that. Let me just check. Yes, no, sorry, that's right. Yeah, so we make a low. Obviously, it's low in this 15-minute leg here. So, as I say, most weeks as well, bottom 25-ish% of the 15-minute legs ideal for obviously buys in a bullish thing. Obviously, there'll be an imbalance in here. It's mitigated and then it's shown a break above on the on the lower time frame. So at that point there, we get a break to the upside. Yeah, and then obviously it eventually comes back. This is spread hour here, so there is a clean trend line in here. Just show you a bit small time frame. Yeah, touch. Ignore that. That's market open or spread hour 102. Touch, touch. Yeah. The touches, sweeps into the lowest imbalance on that leg that then leads to the break. Yeah, high there, just a bit higher, but yeah, breaks here. So that's the fair sign that it's going to go continue long after it's pulled back, basically. But these are big swings, so they'd be a bit they're a bit daunting, I suppose. Is always with such big swings when it comes back. There's always because there's so much price action. I guess there's always the worry that have you missed the 1 minute and is it done its job and coming back to take this low out? But this is what I've got. So that was the valid low. It's obviously tagged that, and then since then it has been making. So from there, breaks the high, doesn't take the low. Obviously, it mitigates the lowest. It doesn't take the low, that's the important part, but it fills the lowest imbalance, creates a new high, pulls deep again, doesn't take the low again, and it's taking the high again. So big 1 minute swings at the minute. But the so from there we may well let me word this right. We can do anything from this point. It can take the low, you can take the high, you can fuck around for a few weeks, whatever. But if we try and think about it as I'll say professional traders, um, obviously that's what we're trying to aim to be. So the options from here, I would say, are obviously it could do anything, but we haven't quite taken this 15-minute high yet. It's most probable that it will because I think we are 15-minute bullish. So I think we might get a setup anywhere in here, and I wouldn't anticipate it's going to take this low here. Could do. If it does, then what it does next after that will determine which way it's going. So it's possibly going to, I mean, it might go straight up from here. It might come back a bit and then take the high again if it's going to go higher, but we might well get something like that that's in place. If we do get something down here, let me just take a look. So decent trend line, sweep, break to the upside. So as long as this isn't market changeover, Friday, market changeover here, bastard. Be worth checking lower time frames on that. Maybe even that. It's a decent push. Pull back, sweep. So this is I know I've obviously got the green that has class as my 1 minute, but there's a substructure inside that as well. So I know I have me 1 minute and then 15. When the swings get big, we can get even smaller structures. Like so this is why I say you don't have to name them the 1 minute. It's just pretty much lower, but we've got possibly something like that going on. So, yeah, and then obviously we break. leave that there like that. But basically, in the smaller structure, this is possibly the high that I wanted to be broken as a lower time frame confirmation. So ideally, now we have come back. Ideally, we would want this to come back below this green line because the idea is that if that's the high we wanted breaking to show bullish signals, something. Let me just bar replay that. Start new. Right, so that's the point in which it's broken the high we would want to see broken, I believe. It could technically be one of these, but it's all a bit sideways messy. But could well be. I mean, if it's low down here, price will come in this very bottom area and start reacting and fill an imbalance. But if it's this one, which I believe it will, if price is going to come back to mitigate something, it's going to be below this line because something in this, it could be the whole leg, obviously. Something in here, in this price action here, is what it will come back to mitigate for taking this high. So obviously current price has popped below. So this could continue up from here as well. But then obviously we can use areas of liquidity and things like that to determine if we think it's going to come low, and it already has. So we have, let's take a look. So when does that go? Not quite, not good enough. So if we spot any trend lines that we maybe think will draw price lower, then that would be a good indication. I hate trying to find trend lines on lives because I feel like it's just takes ages and feels like a bit of a waste of time sometimes. Nothing stands out though. Doesn't mean it's not happening though. No, not that either. No, can't spot it. Not saying there isn't anything there, I just maybe can't spot it. But so if we, yeah, the point is, if we see any liquidity, if we see a trend line that's formed that we think, I don't know, let's for example say there's equal lows. These aren't quite equal lows here, but you know, let's say that's a trend line. It's not, I'm not happy with it, but you sort of get the idea. It's close to. Let's see, that's enough to put me off that little wig there. I don't like it. Passes through. So it's not actually a trend line, but as an example, if that was a perfect touch, obviously that obviously the trend line is liquidity. So the idea with liquidity is that three clean touches for me. So we're using our imagination a bit on that middle touch. But your general public would look at that and go, that's a strong support or resistance level. So they would think if it comes anywhere near this line again, obviously if it's extended, if it comes anywhere near that, they think it's going to touch that line. It's so strong, and then it's going to buy up. So what liquidity is basically people believing that for whatever their reasons are, like I said on this example, it's your general public would think that's a strong support. So they would, as soon as the price comes down here, they're going to stick their orders on that line or thereabouts, thinking it's going to buy up like that, something like that. But what obviously the banks will do is they will know that people are placing orders at this line, and then they'll take everybody out and then go the direction that they sort of want to. So the blue is the bankers, green is your retail average people who watch a little bit of YouTube, I guess. Um, and obviously, but what will happen is when the bankers sort of like take everybody's money, they'll they'll tap into something, and that's obviously where we would try and get in. So if this is what happens and that's the imbalance, it's a decent push on obviously this time frame. We'll check it on the lower time frame, but there's a decent push there both sides. So looks like a possible good area, and it's pack it in. There's possible liquidity above. This might make a trend line in the next day or two. So if it comes a little bit lower than that, it might make a trend line. So there'd be liquidity above it. There's a decent push both sides, which shows a large amount of money or something going on. So big push down, big push up. This would have cost tens or hundreds of millions to have moved the market like this. So it's a sign of possibly the banks being involved. So maybe an area they want to come back to. If that is the case, and it comes and fills that imbalance, again, we will want to see. No, yeah, no, yeah. Want to see some signs of bullish price action. So if this blue line's what is going to happen, obviously we'll get some little smaller zigzags that create this overall pattern. We will maybe want to see a break and then a mitigation of something, and then it'll continue to do its thing. Yeah, same thing on pretty much on every time frame. Disappeared. So that's pretty much that in principle through multiple time frames, obviously. Um, so I do think we are possibly higher time frame bearish as well. So the other option, obviously that was if obviously the 15 minutes currently bullish. The other option is that we've had so because the 4 hour is possibly bearish, so we've had high, low, lower high, lower low. If we're going to stay 4 hour bearish, I got it right this week. Um, then basically, I do think we are going higher, by the way, sorry, because I forgot to say that there's this trend line here as well. So this trend line is possibly going to draw this price up above this. However, like the longer it takes to get to this line, the higher price is going effectively. So I do think we're going higher. Um, but if we're going to stay 4 hour bearish, then if we that one. So if that's the high there, low there, drag it across, obviously. Something like that. Then we are hitting the top 25% of the 4 hour structure. So I think what I actually think if we're going to stay bearish, then we'll get another 15-minute high. Obviously, this is the current high, it's not taken it yet. But I think over the next week or two, we will get a new high. We'll possibly take that high there. I'll just delete this box. So if we take that, I mean, this might play out fast. If it's going to take that and stay bearish, this is going to be a fast move because it's going to have to do it. So, and why I say it's got to be fast is because if uh, that's the 4 hour high and it wants to stay 4 hour bearish, it'll probably want to take this trend line before it takes that high as well. But so if we have a delay in price, if it doesn't take that liquidity before whatever day that is, May time next year, I guess, then we are 4 hour bullish in my opinion. So, but yeah, I mean it's a good indication that 4 hour bearish. So we've had one, two, maybe get a third pullback 15-minute swing because obviously these would be uh one, two, three, four. There's about four bearish 15-minute swings, three bullish, which obviously there's no guarantee that we'll like get 3 and 4 swings, but you generally get more. Let me word this right. So in the direction of the time frame above, you tend to get more swings of the with the time that's going with the time frame above. So 4 hour bearish, we get four 15-minute swings, three pullbacks. So 4 hour pullback. That's right. Three swings on the 4 hour pullback. And obviously it's the same with generally the same with the like 15 and the one. So if the 15 minutes obviously bullish. So we get one, two, three, four, one, two, three, four actually. So it's four there, but we might get five on the continued long here. So yeah, generally it's not a guarantee, but yeah, you tend to get. I think from what I mean, I've never actually recorded the data on it, but you generally get at least one extra swing on the if it's with the higher time frame direction. That's it for that. Is there any questions? Do I need to get Ellen to take over because she's absolutely fucking battering the structure at the minute? No, quiet.
Oh, no questions.
It's all right. Oh, I won't put you on the spot like that anyway, so don't worry. Um, right, so that's NJ. Tell you what, I'll try and take a look at. I was on about Euro CHF earlier. See if I can try and figure some out on this because this currently is messing me about. So I think, yeah. So Euro Chef bearish higher time frame. So we've got this. Yep, so we've got lower highs, lower lows going on here. Now we had a possible break to the upside here. Not a 4 hour one, it's 15 really. Possibly. So 4 hour, if we, I mean, this pulled back about 50%. So that wouldn't have been ideal. This one's not ideal. So I've actually been trying to buy this for a long time because we've had a obviously low here. I mean, I would have only been anticipating that it was gonna come back up into this sort of like top quarter. But so we've had a downtrending market on there from 2024. So the last swing, obviously we get a low here, pull back, makes a new low here. Get out of the way. New low here. Then we break the high. So what we've done from there is we've come back, mitigated the lowest point, and then we have, on a smaller time frame, broken the last pullback swing on that as well. So I'll just draw this quick. So we get downwards price action, low, pullback, low, pullback, low, into the point of interest for the lowest part of the overall swing back there, and then we break the high. So what I've been looking for is, I mean, there was a couple of good moves from this, to be fair. I can't say it's been crap because it hasn't. It's just not been from where I thought it was coming from. It was, a lot of it was higher than I thought. So at that point, obviously, there's been this move, which was a 1 to 50 nearly, and then this one's the same. So from here, what I've actually been looking at is a 415 one, really. So from that low there, if we mark something like that as the zone, because there's, I think the imbalance was really hard to find on this leg. So I'll come and show you. One here. Why ain't he moving? I'll replay it, fuck it. Right, we're here. Start now. Break to the upside there after touching into the point of interest. Right, so not really any imbalance on this one, I think, if I remember rightly. Go away. So you have to come pretty low to start seeing imbalance. So, as you can see here, the first decent push away and bit of imbalance is this there. Maybe a touch here. But I think this is the one that gets the reaction, so. Right, so now we'll get back. So after the breaks, like I say, it comes back. After the break here, it comes back, and then we get some signs of 1 minute breaks. Pardon me. Couple of signs of 1 minute breaks to the upside. Obviously, we get trend line here, sweep, slight break to the upside here again, above one of these. This one here. So that's a 1 minute break. So that's why this entry is marked here, because that's a valid setup there for 415.1. Goes and does its thing. But I was anticipating much larger moves. Like I say, I was expecting probably price to come up into here and above. Yeah. So I don't think we've had it, and we haven't. So once after this price action as well, I'll get into the other trade in a minute. So once that breaks above there, that's 15-minute turned bearish. No, bullish, sorry. I fuck that up every week, multiple times. So that's showing 15-minute possibly bullish. Comes back down, starts making lows, obviously. So I'm expecting once this one come back and then shows 1 minute bullish signs, I'm expecting that to be the new 15-minute low, and then it should go and make a new 15-minute high. But it doesn't. And it takes, well, it just hasn't done it, so there's no time on how long it takes. But what it does do, it comes high, mitigates into pretty much, I'm assuming that's the highest order block, and imbalance fill in there, and it eventually leads to obviously the lows being taken, which it's only just done. So last week. Well, I mean, look at that price, actually, that's diabolical. But yeah, like I say, these, and then when so coming along to this other trade, I mean that's a 60R trade to it. Same again, obviously same point of interest. It's just come down and filled a lower imbalance in this zone because this zone broke the 15-minute high. The only issue is the reason why I'm struggling with it is because it's only given us a break to the upside and then it's not continued. So, like you would expect at least two swings. I don't know. I don't really recall seeing just one swing, one break of structure, and then obviously continuing. So, rather than this being a swing, maybe this is just should just be classed as a sweep. So obviously it sweeps this high here. Maybe wanted something in here, and it just wanted to continue lower, which it's done. Maybe there's a setup from there somewhere. I'll have to look at it really, but I don't. Nothing stands out, and if it doesn't stand out, generally it's not what I'm looking for anyway. So, um, but yeah, like I say, I was looking for longs on this, but like, obviously I should have been looking for shorts anyway. So from there, now this is where the structure, issue with the structure comes in because let me just go on the 4 hour so we can get more candles in one screen. So if that's one 15-minute leg here, where this red arrow is here, I'll just take that orange one sec. No, I'll do another one. So we get a little price pullback there. We break the high. And because obviously we pull back, this is the lowest pullback point here. But it doesn't take the high again. So technically, this is all one leg. So 15-minute low takes the high, and then we take the low again over here. So, just bear with me a sec. So yeah, because there's only one swing on when the high is taken. But I think this is why I'm really struggling with this, and maybe I should just go, well, no, that's not the pullback then. Maybe it's up there. That makes more sense, I guess. It just means I was wrong about the swings. But I mean, that's what? From that high being made. Like 200 days for it to do a 15-minute leg. So yeah, shitty chart to read, to be fair. I don't know where it's going to go from here. I don't. So avoid this one is the moral of this one, but it's bearish. It's very, very bearish. I'm assuming it's going to take us to the. Yeah, it's bearish. Sell. Just sell it. Yeah, we get some good. Not actually bad price action on the weekly. That does take it. Yeah. Yeah, so obviously it's definitely bearish anyway. What we can maybe look for now though is because it has technically taken this last low, high time frame low, we might be due a pullback. So as I said, I was hoping this would take us into this sort of like level. We might be due. I mean, there's no telling when it is because this is all. There's nothing to left to go off. So I would at least wait for a decent break to the upside again. Oh, it's got the jumpy. Okay. Yeah, we might probably above this level again anyway. But we might take that level, pull back, get a couple of decent swings to take us into high up here, I guess. But obviously the reason why I'm saying that, I don't know if you fully understand it all, but basically from the structures we've got, obviously this is one of the lows. As soon as that low is taken, I'm sort of thinking about pullbacks at that point. Even if like price might make another couple of swings as well, it might do this, might make a couple of swings. But as soon as that low's been taken, we technically can pull back. I mean, this might be it, but so that's 1 minute 15. This is why it's a mess, really, because if that's 1 15-minute swing that long, then we need that. We would maybe expect coming up to a couple of 15-minute swings bullish. So, but like I say, that's a lot price action. So, obviously, an early sign would be if it just takes this high here and then it'll come back into something down here and mitigate and possibly buy up. Let's do that again. So we could get something like that as a possibility, but I would definitely want at least this high here to be taken. I don't know what that is, so I won't delete it. I'm not going to ask you if there's any questions on that because it's a mess, so I don't expect any. Has anyone got anything they want me to look at?
Well, like a rash.
Yeah, on my cock.
Hang on. Right, I saw it.
Yeah, you've got like 5 charts, Luke. Let's look at one of them.
Well, I'm actually currently in a trade.
Oh, nice.
Well, I say nice.
Yeah, I was gonna fly fucking hell. I'm gonna tell you. You can guarantee, right? If you was like, I'm in Euro USD or whatever, and I'm gonna be like, oh yeah, it's fucking bearish, and then you're like, oh, I'm in the buy.
Well, I know I've fucked it, but I'm here Euro CAD.
What? Yeah.
Hang on, let me go right time frame. Okay, I'm on my phone. I can hardly see fuck all.
That's all right. Is it buy or sell?
Buy,
Yeah.
which is good, at least. Right. Ooh. There we go. Yeah, see, that's where, hang on. I entered the trade. Fuck, I'll give it time and I can get there. It tagged me in at (5:15) on the 21st November. Very recent. Tagged me in on Friday.
Yeah.
Late. I forgot to get rid. It went past my POI.
Yeah.
And and then I was just playing around with it. I put it in the group looking at it. I was just playing about, and then I forgot to get rid of it. It tagged me in. I thought, well, it's only a demo, so I thought, oh,
Yeah.
see what's what. And I mean, it is in profit currently, but
yeah,
it went past the original POI, so I was like, all right, well, that's gone.
could be, mate. I mean, first thoughts was the opposite way, to be fair, but let's have a bit of a look. Because we are higher time frame bullish. There's no denying that. But let me just go on a higher time frame again. This is what I was trying to say a minute ago, though. Just because we are because we've passed this, I'm assuming that's a major high. Yeah, maybe a daily or weekly high. Low. New high put in. So we could be due a pullback. That's the only thing, like I say, 'cause it's past that previous high. But we might also, obviously, we could make another swing quite easily as well. Just took it. Mitigated. Like I say we let's see what that's tapped into. I need to delete some markings as well because confusing me. Low. So I'm currently 15-minute bearish, mate. So
Yeah, and I've got 15-minute bearish.
yeah.
So I knew it was thingy, but I've got so many drawings, it's unreal. And I need to cut back on it because, in a way, I'm having too much on the chart and then I'm struggling
Yeah.
to read. The less I've got on it, I do better.
Yeah.
But because I'm trying to get back into the swing, like I haven't been doing this for about a year.
Yeah.
I've been doing it properly, as you like.
Uh-huh.
But having too much on it, then I'm not labeling up properly. I know that.
Yeah.
I know what it means, but then I'm going back to it a week later. I'm like, oh, I don't fucking know what that means.
Yeah. Yeah, my eyes are showing bearish, but there's no, obviously it's demo, so it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
But so at the minute, this is, if we are 15-minute bearish, this is likely the new 15-minute lower high.
Yeah.
Yeah, but we haven't taken this low yet either, so price can technically still just do that and then come and take a new low. So the
my
buys,
target is only that 15-minute.
Yeah. So, like, I mean, my structures tend to be a bit bigger than most other people's anyway. So,
To be fair, mine is pretty much exactly like your orange one.
yeah. Well, I mean that's not a bad thing. What I'd be majorly interested in is now if this is there's a possibility that if we anticipate that's the new 15-minute lower high, we've possibly mitigated something in there. And then we've maybe broken below the 1 minute here. So there could maybe be a sell in this here somewhere. Yeah. Because then that's 15-minute bearish shown us come back, mitigated something. And then we've, like I say, we've had 1 minute signs of a downwards break as well under here. So let me draw the 15 and 1. 15-minute break there. Now I know this is opposite, so don't close your order on my say so because
I'm good to be fair. Like I said, I'm not bothered. I'm letting it go.
Yeah. Well,
I'm just to be fair, I'm just going to see where it goes.
Yeah.
I can look back at it and that. So
yeah.
On my end.
Yeah, sorry, and then the 1 minute break is down here. So I'm looking at it as possible sells, but this might have come and tagged whatever it wanted to in here. So
there is some.
Yeah. Well, I'll take a look in a minute. But what I'm trying to say is you might just be early to the party, like before we are. So obviously we have. If you look at the structure from the other side of buys, we've got. Obviously, we pull back from somewhere in here, there. That's market open. So maybe that one there. we then there. I'm gonna leave that there for now. So, what you might have sort of found is there's a possibility that something in here is the cause of this 1 minute break, because we get a little break above here. Obviously, we're on lower time frame stuff here, but hi there. Yeah, so where you've taken, obviously this has mitigated something in this price action here. This price action's responsible for this break to the upside. And then obviously, I mean, I don't know if you've actually got, I don't think you've actually got a breaker structure up here because this is such a big down leg, but it's obviously mitigated some, shown signs of rejection and then gone. So I think you're the opposite side of the market, mate, but like I say, it might still want to come for something higher up in this, and if it does, then I wouldn't say fortunate, because if I'm not guaranteed to be right, my way trading is not guaranteed to be right. Just how I see it, I think you're possibly wrong side of the market. And as I say, there is possibly a sell somewhere in here.
The thing is, because of how it's been, how like I said, it voided the POI straight away.
Yeah.
So I was like, well, no matter what, if it wins, I'm still wrong because it's luck. On that note, so to me, I fucked it anyway.
Yeah.
I'm just curious to see if luck is on my side.
Yeah.
Other than that, I've got nothing. Nothing that's going to tap anytime soon, I don't think.
Yeah.
No.
Things are bounced.
It's miles away. Yeah. I looked at oil and then I thought, no.
No. At the minute, we're selling it, I think. I think that's the census on it, mate.
Yeah, well,
about it.
Me higher time frame, obviously that's same as your sell.
Yeah.
That is literally, I've got a blue line, that's all I've got. I'm all the way out. I'll stick with me 4 of them pairs.
Yeah. Like, oil's one of them, mate. I know people either love it or hate it, and there tends to be no in between, but I kind of both. I do both myself. It's either works beautifully or it absolutely screws you over. But I think it's because, like, currencies are, if you think about it, currencies are stable. So, because economies rely on, obviously, America relies on the dollar, we rely on the pound. It's like it'll start wars if people start manipulating the currencies too much. So they've got to be stable for people to survive and live, I guess. Whereas oil's a physical, real asset. And I know, obviously, we claim that the dollar and the pound and all that's a physical asset, but in reality, it's just a bit of paper. Whereas oil's sort of that people go out, drill out the ground. Like, we use it to power our cars and whatever, Like gold, obviously, we use that as a genuine currency as well. So there's like it's a physical thing that you can put in your hand that's got some actual value and meaning.
Yeah.
So I feel like the ones with like actual meaning are the ones that can be. I mean, they could just screw you over. Sometimes they don't move how the sort of should, I guess. Not that there's any way that they should move, but yeah, I feel like the more
tangible is the word you were looking for.
yes, tangible asset. So, and I feel like the ones that are tangible are the ones that can be love or hate relationships, whereas currencies, like I say, they're just stable. They're generally quite predictable, I guess, is maybe the word. Terrible, obviously, it's trading and it's also unpredictable, I'm just contradicting myself in what I'm about to say, really. But yeah. Yeah, I don't think that's excellent. Yeah, it might be a sell up here. I think it's filled this at the minute. Reacted out of that for this, if it's going to go down. Come on, load up, you piece of shit. What's going on? What the hell's going on? There you go. Maybe that there. Yeah, something goes on here anyway. I would definitely call that as well. Maybe a tiny bit of imbalance there, but there, huge push from there. So this might have played out. It might come a little bit higher still. Yeah, look at that. But if the sell's on, if it might give us a second chance, it might come into that.
I'll relook at that later.
Yeah,
So,
yeah,
'cause I've got no sales marked up right, to be fair.
yeah. Well, like I say, I think because we are 15-minute bearish, mate. It's like I said, I don't know if I was recording when I said it, but obviously the 15-minute generally for the direction that we want to trade in.
Yeah.
So if if that is the new 15-minute high anticipated, then ideally it's going to do this and make a new 15-minute low. It might just tap into this and then turn long again, but like I say, we want probably a couple of 15-minute swings to confirm the 4-hour pullback. And I mean, I'm hoping it comes way down here anyway. So what we have is so this here causes this high to be taken and this major high to the left, which is what this is marked as well. So now this is a red box, so this is my 4-hour point of interest. So basically it's just a zone that's, I believe, is the reason for 4-hour highs to be taken. Prices come back and then it's taken a 15-minute high. So somewhere, I mean, this might have played out, to be fair. Let's check it. Let's do it from there. So for my 415 ones, and it's all obviously that is just based on structure breaks on the relevant time frames. It's nothing fancy. It's just come back, tagged into a 4-hour point of interest. It's then broke to 15-minute above as well. Now, so 15-minute point of interest. Now this would need checking for imbalances as well. I'm assuming that's news. Yeah, half one on a Friday. That's news. So what I would anticipate or what I'm hoping for is from this point here is I basically want price to, as I say, has that done it? Let's take that off. It might well have done it. So your buy, mate, might actually be mega, to be fair. If that's the imbalance it's come for, then and shown slight signs to the upside, then your buy might be to the fucking all-time high, to be fair. But it just depends if that's
Is sorry.
go on, mate.
is in. I know it's news, and I still know it's imbalanced, but is it valid because it's news?
Uh, yes and no.
'Cause I've always thought scrap it.
Yeah, no. So technically it's valid, yes, I believe, but it's definitely iffy. It's on the iffy side. So
Yeah,
yeah, so I mean, if you get like that sort of imbalance on, say, on the 10 second, obviously, I mean, it's 2 hours, so it might not actually even be any imbalance in there other than the bit of news. If it happened at, say, half past, like half past 3 on a random day, the no news or anything like that, they're they're the most reliable imbalances because it's just if it's done at news, like your brokers are going to show you, like FXCM are always going to show you an imbalance at a big news release because they're going to want to take everybody's orders that's on their books that's maybe got to sell from this high.
yeah,
They're going to manipulate it and fuck everyone over. So if it's not authentic, if it's not generated authentically, like I don't know, let's say 6 minutes past 2 on a Friday, then I'm sorry, if it is generated authentically at a random time, then when imbalance is there, it's generally created from, like most likely anyway, generated from a big order coming in from a bank. So yes, imbalance from news can be traded from. It's just more risky because you don't know if it's the broker that's trying to fuck people over.
yeah,
That's probably the best way I could explain it.
yeah.
Um, I mean, we'll take a look in this anyway, so we'll be able to sort of determine if we think it's come for what it's come for. That's what I was trying to say. So I think that's what it's come for now. Bit of balanced price range in there. So obviously I do like BPR balanced price range. So sharp down push, sharp up push, and the price action in between. So from there to there is technically BPR. I don't really speak about it much, but I do I do like it. It's very powerful. Um, so from there, I'd also check all the way lower in here. So if there's a real nice bit of imbalance lower down here, then chances are price is going to come lower, and then 1 minute break to the upside, and then new 4 hour high or 15-minute high. Break would at least want to take the trade to mitigate the current 15-minute lower high because it might continue its bearish swings. So, but if it comes from here, well, I mean, I'll get into it properly in a minute. So, if it buys up from this zone, I would say there is a good chance it would break the 15-minute high and then make 2 or 3 swings bullish. Obviously, we never know, but with a couple of bearish swings mitigating something that caused major breaks of the high, then we can sort of make an educated guess on if we think it's going to be a big trade or not, or just mitigate the high and then continue lower. This is nice. What time is that at? Get over here. This is what I'm looking for, mate. This. So you see this here. Obviously, we're on the 10 second, so there's probably tens of millions of pounds to move the market like that in under 10 seconds. And it happens at 8 minutes past 10 on a Friday morning. Yeah. this here is what we're looking for. Maybe this here as well, a little bit lower, but you sort of get the idea.
Yeah.
Like if this was 1/2 on a Friday, I'd be like, well, this is manipulation from maybe possibly the broker. But at 8 minutes past 10 on a Friday morning, no, it's not. So something down here. Obviously I'd still want price to come, fill this, and break 1 minute break to the upside. But if it fills something like that, and then even if you don't get like a full breaker structure, but you get some like real smaller time frame breaks to the upside. So sometimes obviously structures are small, sometimes they're big. It might be a case if it fills something like that, and if everything else lines up, like just waiting for it to break, like real small structure highs. So this is obviously we're on the 10 seconds, so we've got structures coming on this, Obviously, don't ever actually use the 10 seconds as a confirmation for structural. You do get, like say, smaller structures in this. What does that look like on the one? Yeah, see the 1 minute. It's a bigger structure, but you'll sort of understand. Like you'd maybe wait for a break above this one if you've had every other good confirmation. So get a low. So as it breaks that above here, it comes back, mitigates something. That might be enough for you to go. I don't think it's coming any lower. There's my entry. Yeah. But that imbalance there is, I mean, there might be somewhat lower still, but that's a really good looking imbalance. I'm going to delete that because I'll end up just setting an order on that.
Right.
I'll delete that as well.
I did.
Yeah. Not the best, not Summit. It's 12. That's spread out, so that's not there. Not there. That one is. So, obviously, I don't believe spread hour is a thing, so 11 till 10 doesn't happen. Ellen, she put that's dead funny. It comes up in a little chat box when people type stuff and Ellen said she's got to go. And then she's done the emoji thing, but it said pray. They're like, she have to go pray. Yeah, so this price action didn't happen because it's spread hour. So then obviously just draw a line, go across, see if we can see anything else. That imbalance there gets filled by this. Maybe this. Might be news again though, that 3 on the dot. This is really tedious, just looking through imbalances, but it's so important.
That's what I got to do like tonight. Buy the
Premium.
premium, my friend.
Yes. Yeah, it's I've never pushed it, but I think it's important now, mate, to be honest.
Well, the thing is, it's doing
It's
it.
important for how I teach anyways.
Well, that's the thing. If I'm doing what you're doing, why
Yeah.
would I not do exactly what you're doing?
Yeah. Again, spread hour, so that's not there.
I mean, it's a bloody bargain at the minute.
Yeah, absolutely, mate. And Craig Bastos said that you were like, I think he found something that said you can do 3, you can get 3 years at that deal as well. I might do that.
Oh, well, buy it 3 times.
Yeah, yeah.
Oh,
So
okay. Oh, it might be worth it.
yeah, because like it's only ever going to go up, I imagine, unless we get like a real economic downfall. But yeah, I can't see it being this. I can't see it getting cheaper unless, like I say, unless there's major bad news in the world. But
Quite a lot of imbalance down there.
fucking loads, mate. But this is the thing. So obviously, it's always. I mean, I marked a big zone, so I'm not going to mark anymore. I can't be asked. But this is why I marked them. So I started marking them because sometimes you can. Like, I mean, that is a lot of price action. Sometimes when I was doing my 4:15.1, there'd be like I'd mark say my zone to here because I'd be on the 15 minute and I'd mark to the lowest imbalance. Now, it's a fantastic strategy, and I'd probably mark it there,
Mm.
which there's nothing wrong with that. There's a couple of bits of imbalance in and about, but um, obviously I marked that mega imbalance. I think it would have been this one here, maybe. I'll have to look again. But yeah, I think it was that one anyway. So if I'd have had my zone down here, this might be the one that gets the actual main move. So obviously, what I started doing is making the zones slightly bigger. Obviously, we know. I mean, because I used to say, obviously, you want the zones to be. If you're marking the zones and you're just waiting for someone to get the reaction, you want the zone big enough that you catch the move, but you also want it small enough that you don't get caught in a trap. So if you make your zone too small, you might miss the move because it could come and react out of someone out of here. You don't want it too big because you don't want it to be. You're going to get reactions higher up as well, but it's not going to be the move that you're looking for. So this is why I say roughly 25% of the leg. And then obviously if you can narrow that down into, well, let's say you spot some liquidity, so you can reduce that 25% to maybe like half that 25% or whatever, or it might be the top. It might be the wrong 25% of that. Sorry, it might be the wrong half of that 25%. Obviously, that if it's buys, you want it to come deeper into the zone because then there's not much imbalance and price action below it to react from. But like I said, you need it sometimes big enough to actually catch the move. So, but then to sort of like because I was missing loads because there was a reacting further away than what I'd marked my zone. I then was like, well, something's going on here, and obviously my idea with it is if that's the 15-minute high, which I'll draw on. Technically, obviously, as we spoke about earlier, it could react anywhere lower than this level and then continue. So obviously that's even more price action to read than me marking my zone where I did somewhere around here. So obviously we can look through on the lower time frame, look at imbalances, and then go if there's this one up here. Obviously that's the Newswick, but that the best looking one I see was lower than that. So I may as well draw my zone from that imbalance there, and if I get a reaction, put the trade on. It might lose, it might still come lower, but I'd possibly reduced my zone by a quarter there, do you know, which saves a lot of possible waiting around, going, oh, is it, isn't it, you know? So imbalance and liquidity would definitely help, and obviously George marks super low time frame liquidity, which is also a good indication. So we've possibly got equal highs here. So we want to be looking at liquidity ideally both sides. I'm just going to draw that there. don't think that's going to make an actual trend line. Yeah, equal highs then, I think. So them equal highs being there. And I think that's the best looking imbalance that we marked. So that imbalance and the order block that created that imbalance took liquidity, led to a break to the upside on the 4 hour or 15 or whatever. So that makes this zone here very high probable for the buy. Yeah. So we've gone from marking my zone from all the way up here. We've reduced all this price action and we've reduced it there just from bit of liquidity and imbalance. So with that, obviously structure, imbalance, liquidity, that's pretty much the main three things you need. Obviously, you need to know about order blocks and things like that, and which we sort of like laid in the beginners section, I believe. I've not looked at it, but yeah, if you can master them three things, mate, you're nearly there, So yeah, I'll unless there's any questions, I will probably leave it there. But yeah, I think sells, mate.
Yeah.
Hopefully, I hope I'm wrong for you. I hope I'm wrong.
Well, like I said, either way, I mean, I know it's a wrong. It shouldn't have happened. So
Yeah.
I mean, I'm kind of glad I know. If I didn't know and I was like, "Oh, I'm in a buy," good. Then
Yeah.
there's a problem there. I knew as soon as it tagged, I was like, "Oh, it's a demo. I'm not bothered."
Yeah. Yeah.
But yeah.
Well, that's what demo's for, mate. It's to learn on, make your mistakes and practice and get you used to holding trades and seeing numbers and
That's all I want.
yeah, that's all it's about, mate, really.
Find out suits me best.
Yeah. So
but no.
Yeah, mark this zone here, mate, if as well.
Yeah, no.
Like I say, if you get a 1 minute break to the upside in that, then it could be a good move. Like I say, because if that comes down into that, there, get a 1 minute break. This is what I'd really like to see is fill that imbalance, break to the upside, tag into an entry at that point after it breaks, then we could effectively see a new 4 hour high.
Yeah.
I mean that's a way away, Obviously, the other options would be obviously if it does give a buy from there, it could also mitigate if that's the new 15-minute high. Obviously, which will tell us if it breaks this low.
Yeah,
it could just do that. Mitigate the current 50 something in the high, which so obviously this week we might start seeing imbalances being made in here that it then maybe sell down to. But yeah, I think this is a good place to buy for a new 4 hour high, mate. So
I'll look at that tomorrow.
Sweet. I'll call it there unless Phil's got any questions.
No questions from me.
No, good stuff, boys. I'll catch you in the chat.
Cheers, mate.
Cheers, Luke.
Bye.